It's nice to see Pipson have a good time. Was my ears working or did he laugh?
Yeah,
there was
he
some
actually
laughs
laughed.
and smiles?
Yeah, we should go back and take a look at that round. We need to see exactly what is that was making him so happy. But he had a lot of reasons to be so cheerful, especially after the way that we all know that first map ended.
Yeah, he looked pretty happy. I mean, you can't not be happy when your team's managing to put up that performance against KC.
Yeah, and you got to be happy with your IGL as well. You know,
Absolutely.
we talk about these fragging IGLs. You know, we theorize whether IGLs need to frag in this state of the game. And the answer from Cloud is, yeah, he can do it. And it wasn't just the frags, it was the importance of his kills.
Yeah, exactly. Like the way that he was playing around the map, how he was guiding the team, how they wanted to show that opposition against KC from the beginning of the round. Even when they were executing onto sides, not leaving them the room that they needed to plant. I think that it's massive calling and massive performance from him.
Yeah, like Bea said, like he was just able to be around the map and help control the map, both on attack and defense. And we talk about fragging IGLs and, you know, their capabilities of being able to lift the team spirits and yeah, pop off when they need to. And that's exactly what Cloud did in this map.
Yeah, and as Pipson would say, insane.
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 Just insane. Insane. Love the Leo Vandal, Phantom even as well. I want to shout that out. But of course, this is the thing, right? They had a pretty horrific way to end map 1, and the fact that they're able to come out and mentally do this, Billy, I think is incredibly impressive, because this could have just easily been a 2-0 to KC.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't think that KC were doing anything particularly bad. I think that they kind of just didn't have an answer to what GiantX were doing. You know, the GiantX, like, I feel as though they really found the momentum in the last of that bind map. They were really starting to pick things up and break through whatever KC was showing them.
There were various similarities, right, in the way that they wanted to challenge them when they were on bind, and also what we were seeing on Lotus, for example, with the rubble control. We understand, and of course we were hearing from Pipson, how having different compositions is going to affect the way that you have a control over that part of the map. And what we saw GiantX doing time after time was Cloud actually just using that, and as I'm saying, put in all the utility to make sure that this was going to be advantageous for them. Did they win every single time? No, but they have their various different ideas that gave them some very good wins in different times of the round, understanding the different waves that KC were using.
Yeah, and I think something that I was complaining about in the last map was the fact that they had so many hero plays, but in that A-Rubble, like you say, you were really actually seeing the synergy come through from the team, which was nice.
And Tomaszy, the spy, against his old team. I bet it felt really nice for him to hit the final shot. We won't talk about the other, like, 12.
I just want to say it again. I'm so happy because this didn't make the replay, so we cut it for you guys because, yeah.
No.
The best on the other side.
Wait, my monitor's gone off. I don't know what's happening. I can't see this. I'm not watching. Yeah, I mean, it's going to feel nice, though. It's going to feel nice. The side swap, and kind of from there, they managed to get the momentum and close it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that from the beginning, when they were able to not allow KC to convert that pistol round, you win that second one. We understand that he's so happy because that means we're most likely going to be going to fracture, as you're saying. It helps continue that momentum.
Here's the thing, though. For KC, they're used to this. They always play map 3. Even last year, they love an overtime. They love being in the studio for as long as humanly possible. So this is not new for them. If anything, I feel like it's almost a comfort zone. But how does GX handle this? Because for some of these players, they've never been in a situation as high pressure as this before.
I mean, we saw it last week. It didn't end up going their way, and probably it's that is the pressure, is the long hours, and of course, even though they won that Lotus, I think it's very difficult to let go of your mind how close you were to closing that bind. This could have been a 2-0, but you know, do not think about that. It doesn't matter. Fracture is fresh. It is new. Even though KC has played a lot, we still have not seen what they have cooked for this map. Same goes for GX. So, you know, any theories? Anything we would like to see?
Real quick, I need Tomaszy to chill out. Like, my girlfriend watches this stream, all right? You need to relax. You need to relax. But Billy, what do you think about Fracture? Because Can I convince you a cheeky little Sadak raise, perhaps?
Sadak raise.
Yeah.
You know what? I've been complaining at him playing the Harbor the whole time, so I'm not going to complain if we get to see a Sadak on the raise. I would be pleasantly... Yeah, I'd be happy to watch that.
Yeah, I remember watching it in Brazil. It was not the best, but it was fun. Yeah.
I want to see some chamber. Like, I feel like we're missing some chamber action on Fracture. I want to see if both the teams are going to continue playing with that Vice. Maybe we're going to see some Tejo. We still haven't seen it today. We still, you know, I'm down for some surprises here.
I think we're about to find out whether we are going to get those surprises.
Oh,
we're going to get the Tejo. There you go.
Oh, we're not going to get the chamber, but you know, I'm going to take this. Martin, who is on that Euro almost like permanently now. Elite move into something that he has to be very, very comfortable with on that Cypher.
Yeah, I mean, we've not seen Martin on any other duelist so far, so that's interesting that he's just filling the boots of doing a Yoru. But looking over at GiantX, I really like the crunch potential of the composition that they've got. You've got that Fade, that Breach that you can pair up with that Raze utility, and I think if they continue on in the way that they've been playing with that aggressive sort of play style, I think this could genuinely work for them.
Two things really quickly. Westside, unsung hero from last map. I think he can have a lot of impact and just massive combo potential on the side of KC.
Well, talk about West Side. How about I give you North Side and South Side? It's Fracture. I'm so sorry, Mitch and Tom. Feel free to steal that one if you want to.
You're definitely South Side because you're nice and low.
Would you steal it, Tom?
That?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No,
Okay. We'll leave that one on the shelf.
Thankfully not. Yeah,
Leave it there.
Yeah, I actually prefer the one from yesterday. I think she should bring that one back.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
I think it went really well. But moving on, moving swiftly on. In fact, we're going to be getting into Fracture. I love this map. I'm excited to see the sort of different ideas. I'm looking at the sort of, I would say, more comfort picks for the side of GX, and then what is likely to be a fairly wacky sort of post-plant, ratty, disgusting comp potential for KC. But I want to see how proactive they're going to be with that Teo. I think that was the main takeaway. For now, Martin, hello.
He snuck himself into a nice spot, and he's out scot-free. Flash to try and re-engage by the looks of things, and that's exactly what Martin does. A confident start to the game. And for KC, their game plan is going to be something that we study as these rounds go on. Problem is, you get to anti-strat them on a lot of other maps, Tom. When it comes to Fracture, you're showing what Aang's been cooking behind the scenes, and with a Tejo already on the board, I'm terrified for what GX are going to be coming up against, because they were ready on Bind. They knew what they were going to be facing. Yeah. They had adaptations, a little bit more difficult to do when you come in blind. Nice kill by Tomaszy though. Pistol's not gone just yet.
No, he's done well. And definitely had high impact rounds. This won't be one of them though. Immediately reduced to ashes, trying to be proactive of those remaining players, and they are being picked apart all onto Runner, and he is stuck on the site with utility coming his way. It will be the pistol round again coming up for KC. And I kind of want to touch on what you were saying, because I think that when you look at where KC thrived last year, again, going back to a team that had a lot of similar traits. Okay, maybe you had a much newer IGL, but you had a lot of young blood, some exciting transfers, people being brought in. When it came to Kickoff, well, in case you forgot, they won the entire thing.
Pretty well.
And that was because there was a lot of time for Eng and Zeish to build what they had prepared. Now throw Sadak into the mix, you have some of the, well, the biggest brains in all of Valorant working together, and they had the time to do so. Now, obviously, that could change if they make it to the first event. Maybe things are looking a little bit different. But as you said, like going into a map with no data, you have to adapt on the fly. Credit where it's due, though. GX were able to do that in both maps. So I'm not going to count them out just because compositionally it looks like KC have come up with something that will be hard to play against.
Well, that's it. It is just that we have this automatic faith. When you look at a KC lineup, when you look at a team led by Aang, they bring out a new comp, a new agent that's on the board. You just immediately, you don't think, will it work? You go, how will it work? Because it will work in some way, shape, or form. And it's GX's obligation, I suppose, to put a wrench in those plans. Make a couple bumps in the road. Looks like for now, the orbs will be taken in the early round. No real rush to dive in with these lighter pistols. But if when they do come to trading blows, Cloud and Tomaszy having Sheriffs, West Side on the Ghost as well, it's going to give them a couple chances to at least take weapons out of the hands of KC. Again, though, KC have 2 pistols, so you really need a lot of damage before it starts to add up.
Stun connects onto one. Elite just wanting to try and hold on to the tower as they look to pressure. Again, plant looking inevitable, but anything else seemingly unlikely. Post-plant utility doesn't really exist, but the shots are connecting. 2 kills, honestly not bad, a third as well. Purpo's found one more. This is starting to get a little bit dangerous, but he has to get in onto that spike, look to try and deny, and he will not be able to. Still, an incredibly costly round for the side of KC, only one man standing.
Yeah, well, we came into that talking about setting the expectation that it wouldn't be very easy to do that damage, but 1 player left alive, 2 rifles, all the shields stripped off these players as well, and what was a real chance to take this across the line. That's got to be a round that GX are over the moon about. And now it comes down to capitalizing on it. Their bonus round, where we've seen KC come into these rounds with 4 Vandals and a Bulldog, well, instead, they have 3 pistols.
They're fighting for the orb in more ways than one. If they can get it, great. If not, if Martin can get a kill, that is the dimensional drift online, and that could be one of the ways that they manage to pad the gap in this round. Also, we're seeing that sort of top side push at the same time to at least garner a little bit of extra control while being pressured. But I like the fact that GX have sort of grouped up. They're taking it nice and slow. You know that there's some weaknesses here, so you don't want to get too over-aggressive.
Sadek, there's a chance there. The player in the air, a little too hard to pick out. The 2 rifles rotating in, caught behind the smokes for now, or 1 caught down below. It is going to be a slower approach. In goes the decoy. In goes the flash. Westside's pushed back. Rifle is the one leading the charge here. It's Martin up close, but he's caught. Tomaszy had a perfect spot. That rifle down in the open, no longer a concern. And the only man who was armed to the teeth, other than Martin, was Elite. He's not quite in the fight, and at this point, he's thinking about not joining it at all, bailing out and saving this weapon for the next round.
Yeah, I think, again, another solid round out from GX. Obviously, mass weaknesses for KC, but I think they had that realization, like, okay, we did so much damage that we've got to make sure that we're patient for any sort of early aggression, and then from that point onwards, we just capitalize off trading and making sure that we're in the right place. Good round from them. But this is sort of where we expect this game to get going a little bit.
Well, exactly. This is where the pace picks up. We get back into things. I like the ideas, though. Still some dueling possibilities for KC. No connections means this round, ult online for Martin. More direct approach is definitely possible for this defensive side early in clearing out a lot of this control, maybe spotting where these fights are coming in. And I'm assuming that's what we're going to see. This is a full buy round, and just take a look over at this A site. They're all stacked up. It's only 1 man that's left on the other side of the map. Probably going to be just popping this Yoru ult and looking for some control early on, for some information. Not even needed. They're coming straight to him with early presence.
Yeah, this is now more of a problem. If they decide to go direct in and not just fight for the orb, this could be a troublesome round. But you can already see hightailing it all the way back from the other side of the map, in the middle right now, is going to be that defensive side. A wraparound to the other, as they have that Rolling Thunder equipped. The question will be, is it immediate TP out? I wonder if it might be... Oh, not quick enough! Martin thought he could get ahead of it. He did have a gate crash, but it doesn't matter now.
They've rotated so quickly because of this Cypher setup over on the A side. Has full control. 4 players there early. It's a good job they got that util down because they're still present on this side of the map. Oh, Purpo lucky to be alive, 15 HP, recovered the spike, but he's back out in the south side. He's in B main now. So there's no way to get on site, there's no way to plant it, and this guy doesn't want to go dry swinging, no utility, and just hope that one stray bullet doesn't take him down. But instead, he's sending it in the other direction, where he'll either have to open the door, alerting them early, walk through the tripwire, which could even lead to his death. He's walked straight into it, or at least destroyed it. The player on top, caught off guard, they didn't go all the way. 2 quick picks for GX, and all of a sudden, this difficult round is looking beyond doable with Purpo so low. If Sadek can get him taken down, there is a real chance, but Purpo's not giving him an opportunity. Just hiding, waiting for Cloud's contact. Perfectly played so far, and it's Sadek who needs to force the issue. Finds a rocket to the face. That's an insurance policy the GX were keen to cash in.
I don't know what happened with that kill from Cloud. Like, it looked like, because we cut away just at the moment that the swing came in to sort of check things. I don't know how he didn't see Cloud. Maybe he just paused at the exact right moment not to get seen around that corner. Yeah, like that's what I mean. It looks like he should have seen something, right? Or then maybe that's just like
peeking as well. Maybe he was a little closer to the wall.
Yeah.
I don't think so, though.
That was just weird. It was almost like I can't see him, he can't see me sort of. I'm like, nope, you are not here. I'm now facing the other way, but that's a blunder that has massively cost them, especially with the player on site being so low. Back to pistols, and again, that solitary rifle for Elite. They do have a stack in the right place at the right time, but Purpo, I was about to say, he's very good at getting entry kills.
Yeah, it's not like they're up against a massive buy. The only one, again, with the rifle in play is going to be Elite, but still a clean shot nonetheless. That also gets added to that tally. Sadik dropped. We see less and less opportunity for KC to overwhelm GX. The numbers heavily favoring the other side, and really the question is, can Elite make this costly? He drops one, but that's not quite going to do it. So we're left to Martin, 1v4. See how many he could drop. The answer is none. And this is a dominant resurgence from the side of GX. They get to build a huge credit advantage coming out of this one.
That's the thing, again, that you go back to the previous map. Although a lot of the buy rounds were incredibly close, the anti-ecos, GX were fantastic. I think most rounds, they probably had 3-4 players surviving in them. So when they do lose a round, they always had a repurchase. I don't think that was necessarily the case. Okay, so he did genuinely see him, and it was just like a blip. Like, it didn't,
lapse in judgment.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the replay, but yeah, it just proves almost.
I mean, it looks silly for us, but you know, it's one of those things where he's cleared most of it. Probably glances at the mini map real quick.
He probably has, like, I don't know, someone in his ear going, "Oh, we need your util in it."
It happens. It happens. It's just the chaos of a live game. Oh, I like this idea. A lot of these players stuck. The nade's gone through, but
that's denied the orbital strike as well. Like, that was just used to try and clear deep control, and they can't capitalize on it because of the salvo.
Nice early strat. It's kept them way back. Bought some time. They re-clear it with the stealth drone, knowing A main is still occupied. No need to move. Trap covering north side as well. Satellite unapproachable at the moment for GX. Well, this is one of those rounds where, I mean, look, we're going to look at west side. If he can break that trap, draw their eyes up there, that's going to thin them out. But then it's the fight, probably onto Martin from deep down. If he can land that, they go sand. They actually have a position to fight from, but with 4 players on A, they need picks inside of GX.
Salvo came back on. Already early trades, and well, Avez maybe caught in no man's land. There's been a couple of moments where I wonder if his own kit is becoming a burden. Sugetsu so close to hitting all of the shots, and Elite is coming in from behind as well. That's the spike down on the deck. Now Tomaszy left with just 7 HP. Info of where he is, and he has to go sprinting. He's trying to bait. He's going towards the other side of the map, but with 15 seconds left, he would almost have to try and catch out Sadik, who's just waiting with the Rolling Thunder. His only goal to delay, and that's exactly what he does. The kill to close. KC level things up.
Neck and neck to start things out. Again, as the game goes on, I'm always going to be worried about what KC bring, attack side, what Aang's being cooking. But GX, those 3 rounds in a row, they start to look more and more dominant as it goes on. We're seeing early aggro.
Something I've noticed is our setup of calling it north side and south side is utterly perfect until there's a player called west side. And then because for a second,
very true.
You said west side, and I was like, oh no, that's his name.
East side.
Yeah. He's ruined it after a couple of years of being able to do that.
Damn it, man. I thought
where is east side? Let's just...
Well, that's the A side, Tom, obviously. Well, yeah, that's a fair call. Luckily, it's not a player called north side or south side, and then we'd really have some trouble brewing for us. KC, 3-3, operator in the hands of Martin, and well, he's gonna have the gate crash out. Leaves him up close on the site, and the shorty is deployed. They weren't ready for the op to be right down below them, and he stepped through the smoke for more. Now that's a bridge too far, and he is punished. Putting it back to an even scenario, Purpo looks for more, isolating the fights. It's getting a little bit spooky, but the Cosmic Divide will stop them. And with the spike on the other side, it's GX that have to push through that.
Can't use that yet.
Gonna wait, at least for the moment. Cloud may opt to try and reclaim a little bit of control, but the worry as well is that he's just lost his horn. It's just been utilized. Doesn't have any prowlers, so it just had to be this swing. Door open. Purpo's been given the space to take the peek, and actually Cloud ends up winning it. And then Sugetsu, facing the wrong way, goes down. Is left onto the leader himself, but with 8 HP, there is no hope. Purpo is hitting today. Another triple to add to his growing collection, and another round for GX.
Well, that's going to be 4 out of the last 5. You wonder when did KC come in with that pause. 12-3 start for Purpo, like you say, Tom. He is lights out at the moment. And thinking back on the last map as well, one of the big factors in a lot of those round wins was this guy stepping up.
And opening jewels. His opening jewels were
nuts
as
right?
well.
We were looking at them earlier, and even going back to Bind, he was 9-4 in opening duels there. Raze was certainly working out. Last map, it wasn't as bad. It was 3-2. Wasn't as strong a statement. Tomaszy. Oh, he's got something to recover from because Westside's been taken down immediately. The rifle's being recovered as well. So KC man advantage. They are up against an op. They are up against a showstopper.
The Brim op.
The Brim op, indeed.
The Brim op. This is something, again, that seems to work better when you just have a duelist in every single position. You can have the Brim op. Or if you're Boaster, then you can do it too. He's a duelist at heart. Nonetheless, still the advantage. Looking at the ultimate online as well for Teo. Potential to just nuke the site completely. They tried to combine it with a stun and with the salvo. Hasn't done too much damage, and again, they've missed the boat on Purpo. They keep missing players in sand.
Yeah, it's a blind side, and it has come back to haunt them. Still, those 2 rifles are alive and putting in the work. Martine doubles up on the impact of Purpo's ultimate. 2 kills, and the site cleared. Both players spotted. Massive information to play with. Decoy ready, fired out, but they know he's still in his ult, waiting for him to make the play. He's up top, he's being spotted. Cloud's looking for the kill, but this player's on their way straight forward. That runner is concerned with Cloud picking up the top player, leaves Sugetsu alone. This was looking winnable. They had the info, they had the numbers, but they will not find the kills as time ticks away. Sugetsu is just caught spinning back and forth between the angles, hoping to catch a kill, and it's a classic that takes him down in the end. Another wonderful round from the side of GX.
Yeah, I think they do really well, or at least they have done in this match with some of the synergy. I remember thinking back to their first game, and it was a lot more messy. I do think a lot of that was the, well, Loon is a madman, so to have crossfires where Loon was attacking you kind of wasn't possible, and it became a little bit tougher for them. But I think, like, you look at the interplay between Runner and Cloud there, you have the Aftershock, there's only one gap where the player can beat Prowlers in it, immediately. And they managed to make that work after, again, what was some decent early round play from KC. Now, something we've seen throughout this match is proactive pauses. This is not a proactive pause. This is a reactive pause. You have lost 5 of the last 6 rounds. Things are starting to look dangerous, and we could be seeing a team, or an org more so, go from Kickoff champions one year to out first the next.
First place to first out. It's a tough reality check. Again, so many teams have been caught off by the level increase across the board. It used to be you go into Kickoff, you see a close game to start it out, and you go, well, that team probably going to struggle as time goes on, unless they were the Goliaths, the big boys. But now, it's not even like upsets that we're calling. We're just seeing close games, good games. From the side of GX, they're surprising me here today. For me, KC, Aang, and again, looking back at last year, like you said, Tom, the whole point of they've had so much time to cook. This is a map they haven't shown yet as well. That is where KC are at their strongest. GX with a commanding lead. As you said, 2 rounds doesn't seem like that much, but 5 out of the last 6, now that's a big deal.
As well, credits in a good spot. Again, they seem fairly confident in taking that A-side control. A lot of stars placed to try and slow things down, and got Aves holding as well to potentially do more. But look how far they've pushed up already. They're going to force him back into position, but he still hits the shot.
That's against Purpo as well. He was 14-4, now 14-5. Extra death to the tally. Lockdown comes into play though, and that puts too much pressure on. They have to try to back out. Sugetsu gets caught in the process, and a couple more get detained. 3, in fact, the push is on.
Oh.
It's only Abez to defend. If he went down this round, was done. There could be a chance, even still.
That could be their undoing. The fact that Tomaszy doesn't find anything here, and that this could be 2 players. No, only the one spotted, but the stun goes through nonetheless. Cloud holding the line, and the trades go in their favor. Keeps them even for now.
Although Abez is the guided salvo is good, but Runner hasn't moved. He already had that ideal position. Beautiful stance, great execution, despite a good try by Martin, even if he hits that shot. Time there for Runner, the swing as well. Could have closed it out. 6 on the board for GX. 6 out of the last 7. This is KC running out of answers. We'll need to see a solution very, very soon.
Yeah, I love the initial setup. Like, even though it didn't work, the Rolling Thunder pushing the player out of main into the players coming through from Dish, it's beautiful. But then they also have the second layer of, okay, if we can then get Dish, I can now put my lockdown into play, and it covers so much of the site. We've already cleared the one angle they can fall back into. Just a nice setup off the back of ultimates, and especially after your opponent's just taken a pause, just got a buyback on the board, that's a perfect round to go, okay, let's throw 2 ults in and just guarantee a round for us.
They knew the ults they were up against. It was going to be a difficult round. This one here, just pistols that they're left to. It's sheriffs across the board. One we don't expect to have much to say about, but it started out with KC's opening pick. The rifle was even retrieved by Martin, who now stands as the sole A-site defender. Spikes outside. It can go either way for GX. Right now, they're looking for somebody to make a mistake.
Definitely a patient stance from GX, not wanting to overplay their hand, and all online in the form of Cloud. One very, very close for Tomaszy. They won't want to use them in a round like this, but if it keeps them extending their lead, could be everything. Now, they completely abandoned this A site, almost just looking to play that retake, and, well, Cloud has more than capitalized. He's walked all the way up into the site.
30 seconds left.
Well, that plan's been heard. They know they're on site. Martin
Spike planted.
has a friend with him. Sadik, one flash, ready to be deployed. They've lost Avez. The op now spotted. Flash. It's gone through. Sadik's fired. A big swing comes in, but Sadik is caught off. The flash not enough to get past that orbital strike. Later on, Martin steps in. His HP slowly coming back to him. Good damage done, but they need that little bit more. The low HP player slips away. In fact, both do. Resetting. They have all the time in the world. There's no way that KC can get on that spike in time, not without major misplays. They've made that read. Martin might just want to save this rifle. Goes out to look for the punish and gets it. Okay, 1 extra kill, 1 extra orb, while his teammates go down to the spike.
Yeah, that's the thing. All in all, it's not an awful round for KC. Like, you look at the scoreline, you look at how the way's going, and you go, okay, they're going to want to get a little bit more from that, but you bait out 2 ultimates, you take down 2 players. When you only have pistols, it's really not bad. It sets them up nicely going forward, as there are 0 ultimates that are even close to the side of GX, and yours are all starting to build up online. The problem, though, is just that scoreline. 7-3 in the lead. We've seen much closer halves throughout the majority of this game, and if GX come in with a 9-3 half, I am definitely fearful that KC are going to be able to do it on the attack.
Well, 7 rounds so far. GX looking to add to that tally. Operator in play for Purpo was a backup. That's how much credit the side of GX has. They've swapped it back over, as now he'll look to entry with the rifle. Well, he stopped for a moment. Cage will be destroyed. No one's there to capitalize on it, having to give up all control over the site. GX are 1 man down with West Side out of the round, but they have claimed the A site as a result of their hard labor. KC going to be a little late as well, with Martin coming to Dish. He has the ult to re-clear this, and I think he's going to use it.
That's the thing. There is very, very little control currently available for GX. They almost feel like they have to go proactive, and they already should have an idea what. It's eventually that spin to take down the close man, Tomaszy. He might want to try and take this one off his opponents, but it would have to be an utter miracle. In fact, he is completely trapped with the entirety of KC on that site. There is that resurgence. There is that response. Can they bring this back to just 2-round difference?
That great ultimate from Martin. Calls were fantastic as well. After opening pick, no need to overextend or give them picks back. We've seen that happen in so many of the last rounds where often they had a disadvantage and people were overextending. Not going to happen here in the buy round. And then once the ult goes in, everyone's scrambling. Guided salvo causing problems. There was already a flash down. It's just a disaster if you're sat on that side being surrounded and overwhelmed by that utility. The kills that come in. The round that's in it, Sadik ends up coming out with a Rolling Thunder. Last round as well. So you'd expect to see that ult put to good use.
There's a chance maybe. You get the Armageddon. You can retrieve an orb or two. Fact is though, GX being that little bit more patient. Now we've seen Westside, his attempts at lurking, I think have failed fairly miserably. A lot of what he has to do is just try and hold on to one portion of the map. After what has been a hit after a hit, both teams now set up with a solid attempt at B.
Yeah, big rotation from KC. Aves used his stealth drone to clear a main. Now he's here, ready to help out with the B hit. And it's a good thing too, because it starts with Elite going down. Aves though, the extra numbers not quite expected. He's going up into heavy traffic. They're stunned up, but he's the one that's gunned up. Yeah, well, the shorty doesn't quite need accuracy, Tom. Especially not when there's two of them up that close. Sadik and Martin. Sadik make that all by his lonesome. 3 players to drop. Spike planted safe. No chance to take them down on the way across. Rolling Thunder already used. From this point, it is looking a bit unwinnable. It's looking like an 8-4 half. Not a death sentence for KC.
It's so passive. How do you even get past this corner? And pop, okay, Tomaszy with the ego peak to close things out. A fantastic end to what has been a great half for GX. Lose pistol, come out 8-4. You're not going to shake your head at that one.
Absolutely a streak of rounds for them. We'll see how half 2 fares after the break.
One enemy.
Bagged and tagged.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back, folks. 8-4 to GX. When we get back into things, we're going to see this final half of the series. We've already been through Bind and Lotus. Bind, quite a close affair, and it could have already been 2-0. No doubt, that's what GX were thinking coming into this map. But now, with 8 rounds on the board coming into the next half, Tom, it's fair to say, KC, they're going to need that second pistol round if we're going to have hope for the comeback.
I would say more so, let's hope that this was built for the attack, because
absolutely,
otherwise they really are in trouble. Because a lot of what we've seen so far is, you think back to the likes of Foot and the way Mr. Farland was using it fantastically on defensive setups and delay and denial. We didn't really see too much of that.
No.
And now coming in with a comp that has a real chance to make things awkward on takes, it needs to be exactly that.
Oh, Tomashy's got a little gap. They think it's clear because of the guided salvo, and now they've found out a little bit more occupied than they thought. Down go the smokes either side, and the spike in the open. Flank underway, big north side push. I think it might have been spotted just seconds ago. Sagetsu went in for the peek, and indeed, they've got the info. The execution, not quite there though. Cloud maintains north side control. Spike still down, but we're into a 2v2.
Yeah, Run is there to try and hold on to some sort of semblance of control, has Cloud alongside him. These were the two that had that interplay a few rounds ago to close out another for this squad. On the other side, Martin, he definitely has been the sort of pinnacle for this squad so far. 45 seconds left on the clock, plenty of time to play with, but it's about isolating one of those duels, and Elite is clean with it. Always good for a headshot, but the man they face off against was the superstar of the last map. Cloud, the IGL, trying to hold that line, trying to force him into an awkward battle. And, well, it might become that little bit more awkward because they've stolen the spike.
Gate crash from Martin brings him straight to the site for a quick attempt at a plant. It's a fake. They want the fight, but in fact, eventually it's stuck and they swing to a 2v1 after. Couldn't have worked out much better. 8-5. And with the side of KC picking up that pistol, faith may be restored. And as you said, Tom, it's not just about that early injection of rounds, because hell, they had that in the first half. They went up 2-0, and well, we all saw it 8-4 at the halftime. So there's plenty more to be done. But like you said, like we were talking about earlier, you have to think KC with plenty of time to craft how this map was going to look. To me, their attack side is where they will be scariest. As you said, you certainly have to hope so.
Well, that is now every single pistol bar one that has gone the way of KC, which if you look at the series as a whole, really does show GX have been better in the buy rounds. Obviously, they lost the second round in one of those, but the point still stands. An aggressive pinch attempted, but a quick retreat from the side of KC, not wanting to get caught by that aggression, will now look to wrap back around. They do have to be a little bit careful. I'm looking at Tomaszy with that shorty up close. But it seems like maybe they're gonna think better of it. It looks like they have a solid idea that somebody is up there, and now they're running back the other way.
Yeah, this was all just a ruse, noise being made so that the rotation could find a much more open site. In these rounds, typically on that defense with classics, you're going to be much more willing to rotate early off minimal information. So they just killed Martin and took a rifle. This does get a little bit more spooky. Sugetsu misses the shot. He's got one bullet left. He's stunned up and on his way back to site. That Outlaw not going to be as dangerous from those close corners. Classic thankfully shut down. If Cloud finds that kill, this round unravels very quickly. Instead, all they have to be cautious of is the Heaven play. Flash is even a little early, and a lot of the players aren't blinded by it, so easy cleanup. Yeah.
From a very dangerous scenario to one where they get their guns back, only lose a pistol, that's absolutely fine for the side of KC. So they've got their conversion. That's now both pistols, both conversions, and they're currently sat on 6 rounds. This is where we see if that attack is something that we should be excited for, or if GX might just be, again, just looking better at this point.
Well, that's it. Like you said, the rifle rounds they've been picking up. You look back, even the pistol round in the second map on Lotus, we opened up. KC win, it's an immediate fight back. GX have just looked like such a brawly team so far. And now KC, 2 rounds behind, rifles in hand. They're going to try to make this one work. It is a bonus, but it's effectively just a buy round with a fallback and another buy coming right afterwards. Decoy's going to be destroyed, but Cloud stays close. Martin, though, still blinded, and that's a third kill for Martin. The A site overrun, and it's just one man leading the charge.
Yeah, well, he's got those regenerating shields, maybe expecting to take some damage, but no, there was nothing. He just went sprinting into the site. Decoy sent through, and the second man that came out was Martin. And that is as quick as you like, round already over. And that's the thing, I think that this composition does have opportunities to sort of make some of those battles, for A especially, a bit more awkward. Like, you're either going to have the stun put through to force you off angles, you could have the same with like an aftershock or a stun or whatever you like in terms of Sugetsu's utility, but the main thing is you could just put that guided salvo in and force anybody out of those positions. And when you pick up the pace like they just did, you could tell the players on site were not ready for it.
Oh, absolutely not. This man was a little bit too aggressive for their liking. Round falls to KC as a result. Those 2 rifles still will be brought through, at least for GX. But like we said, this right here was a bonus round, if you want to call it that. It's one where they still came in with plenty of ability to fight. But it wasn't needed. Just this one guy. Decoy, flash out of the smoke, and then...
Nice, Bobby!
Frankly, just blind fire.
This is my
heard
Bobby.
bullets. You heard the bullets fired right back, and it was wonderfully connected. Now, as these barriers go up one more time, Tom, GX, they still have a bye, but if they lose this one, it's 8-8 with economy in the bin.
Cutting through.
Oh, well, that's one hell of a spot.
My portal broke.
3 players already seen pushing that south side of the map. As you mentioned, this is an investment for GX. There's a couple of guns held through, but they have completely lost the B side of the map, and afterplant guaranteed, and with so many deep positions already being held, this could be a tough one.
For a 5v5, seeing this many players in B main and their defenders is a very weird flavor of the round. Sadika stayed on site, and he's going to have a bit of a crossfire with Martin, who's just swung out wide. He hasn't hit his shots this time. It's Sagetsu who's picking up the pieces. That's 3 already. He'll be put to bed, but damage done to Cloud, and Aves and Elite have got time. Guided salvos online as well, and there it goes. Buying even more for this squad, and with 5 health and a 1v2, there is no way for Cloud to pull this across the line. It confirmed he's not defusing. They've confirmed he won't be defusing anymore. 8-8. GX's economy in the bin.
And that one does just feel like maybe Westside was a little bit too late to the party. Like, you had the full team making their move back through B main, and he is sort of sat there almost waiting to get the response, but if you've lost half your team, that response is no longer valued.
Nice spot.
Is that Kankan?
Not sure who he was
Kankan,
imitating,
Oh, we've got Kankan at home.
Again, guided salvo to claim the space, but Sagetsu's the one to claim the kill. This is a very light investment from GX, so that Outlaw just needs to connect one bullet onto anybody on the defensive side, and they will be out of the round. GX. Yeah, they get aggressive and then pump the brakes. Move back in the other direction and gamble. I like this play. We saw it a couple times not work in the first half and in the previous map, but they have made the right call.
Turrets destroyed.
I think as KC have been very happy to go back and forth across the map if they run into too much resistance. I also wonder if maybe Sugetsu's Cosmic Divide will be used to just section off a lot of this cross, make things a little bit safer as they look to get into the site. Said tower is cleared by the salvo. Pressure put onto Westside. You have to feel like he's in a little bit of trouble here, but yet to really have that proper move onto him with all the utility just spamming him out. And while it is an in-zone flawless in the end, what looked like it could be dangerous turns out to be incredibly easy for KC.
Big kills for Sadik as well, just 2 away from Rolling Thunder being online. KC have claimed the lead back after oh so long being in the dust of GX. 5 rounds in a row. Confidence has to be sky high, and for GX, you've got to start to feel a bit deflated. Not because of this round, they didn't have much invested. Sadik building up some kills, it's whatever. You can look past that, but it's the 4 before. It's how we've ended up here. It's the lead slipping out of your hands, and it's Zeiss sitting up in his chair again. He's not lying down, he's not reclined, and that's how you know the game plan starting to look a little sharper.
I think you could make a graph of KC's success just with where he sat in the chair. Like, the further up he sits.
Angle of success.
How high are his hands on his head. That's how frustrated. But yeah, from basically being dominated in the first half, like you win pistol and you only get 2 rounds. Other than that, everything else was dominant. To in the lead within a matter of seconds, blink and you miss it. This is now the real danger zone for GX. We were talking about the fact that KC could go from being the winners of Kickoff one year to eliminated first in the next. Well, now GX are the ones on that chopping block once again.
Well, there's a reason the KC were champs before, and sure, we might not be talking about the exact same roster, but it's the coaching staff. It's the plans behind the scenes, and, well, they've only gotten more dangerous with time, you'd imagine.
The one man's doing pretty well.
And this is the thing, though, Tom. Look, you look at Martin right now, and sure, you're going to win rounds where this guy runs into a site, puts a decoy in a flash, and kills 3 people, half of them through smoke. 1.5 people through smoke. But the other thing is that we've seen what happens when that doesn't work. Just a round or 2 ago, 2 rounds ago, Martin goes into B, dies, immediately Sagetsu's there with a triple. We've got a deep talent pool here for KC. The A plant, the B plant, the C plant. GX need to break it all. And they're running out of time to do it. The lead now in their opponent's hand. The defense tested. Some utility, but a slow approach from KC as they farm orbs.
This is orbs, yeah. Just taking that early. control, using the stuns, using the salvo. Like, these are all things they're going to get back. So they basically commit something that costs them nothing. They then get it back later in the round, and they have an orb for it. And if Sadak can get another one, that's going to be the Rolling Thunder available to him. Still, presence is held on that side of the map, and GX do have the majority of players there, with nothing else really being spotted elsewhere to drag them away.
Well, Sadak currently spike holder. We're looking at a likely play to the A site through this heavy traffic, and then the Rolling Thunder online afterwards for the post plant. They need to get there first. 5 rounds in a row. GX have had time to sit back and find a solution, a much more passive play. No picks being given away. 35 seconds when KC make their intentions known, and it's towards the site that's stacked up. Cloud still here up top, west side, under threat, drop. Cloud gets 2 though, and with Martin taken down by Runner, Cloud gets a bit more time to reset, to take another fight, and to win it. 3 kills for him, and Runner, well, you can't understate the impact he had in that bit of covering fire. A beautiful defense of the site, and neck as a result.
Yeah, it's a big round from Cloud. And that's the thing. Like, you always look at this man to be able to take it into his own hands. They do well to clear the bottom of the site with the salvo, but he's able to just stay alive on top. Maybe a little bit of an oversight as the rest of the team are able to rotate in, especially with how isolated they were. A little bit troublesome.
Well, it's just the fact that Runner took this crazy risk he realized my teammate's in trouble, my teammate's fighting. I can stand here and say, well, dude, there was a wall. I was smoked out. What am I supposed to do? Or you can step in, get involved. He does that, and he dropped Martin. We didn't see it from Martin's perspective. Would be kind of a weird replay to show, but I think he was just about to dome Cloud. He gets that kill. I have no doubt he resets, gets Runner when he comes through the wall, and it's a different game, but it's the fact that Runner was on the ball, ready for that trade. That's why we love the guy. Played his role, got his 2, and that allowed Cloud to get his 3.
This is an immediate response, though. Like, that's the thing. We talked about proactive and reactive. Losing 1 round is enough for Eng to go, okay, I don't even want to let it get close to what we saw on the last map, where streaks of rounds started to go, and even in the last half, the same. I want to make sure that we get right back on the horse. Because, again, your economy is in a fantastic spot right now. You're looking at every single player going into this round having close to max cash. You don't want to allow GX to get ramping again, because we've already seen that. Purpo and Tomaszy are still up there in terms of the kills. Cloud coming online, it's always a scary prospect. So if they can use those couple of ultimates that they currently have, because the second that changes, it's about to flip. There are 4 ultimates that are 1 or 2 away for the side of GX.
Hit the momentum. Very much swap over to the other side. KC quite quickly putting the pressure on. Rolling Thunder comes through on B, but this is the round that GX have pushed main. So they avoid the Rolling Thunder, even pick up Elite, and now have that rotation from the A main push. This was a full south side push. The perfect round for KC to try something like this, at least from the GX perspective. And with late flank coming in from Cloud, way up north side, they seem to have this one tied up in a bow. KC need to find some space of their own. That's what the Armageddon comes through to do. Not going to land much, but they're hoping for the main fight. Still a little staggered. And when GX emerge, it's Martin to fall. It's everyone to fall, in fact. 3 for Tomaszy. The op showing up, and everyone on GX getting a bite of the pie.
Yeah, what a big round from them. And it seemed like from start to finish, all the way to the end zone flawless, this squad was on top. Like, they had the read of the Rolling Thunder. That's also the thing I'll say with the pauses that are coming through for KC. You get the chance to pick what you want to do in the round. And Pipson, I think, is also sat there going, well, now I get the chance to think of what you're going to do. They avoid the Rolling Thunder, they push, they clear 1 player, and you can see the reaction is, okay, we need to take control of the middle of the map. There's 3 players, or no, 4 players, 1 north side, 3 south side. It's only Purpo that's under pressure. He tucks in, plays it safe, and makes sure that there's nothing they can do from that point onwards. Great reactive play from the side of GX. Perfect read. And again, now the ultimate economy is in their favor. Last round was sort of the last point, at least for a round or 2, where it's going to be the other way around.
Well, Armageddon put in by Aves as well, right? You know,
I'm Rolling Thunder.
Sadak at the start of the round, Rolling Thunder that doesn't hit, that's always a gamble, but usually one you'll find at least some reward for.
They use Rolling Thunder and the defense got a kill.
Yeah, immediately. Before the Thunder was even finished roaring and rolling. For KC, they have quite a lot to contend with. You can see that with Tomaszy. Tomashy's he's been very keen to fire out these ultimates. Sees
Focus on the
contact
A.
and he's immediately on it.
He's a duelist.
Ready to quickly flick it on the map. We'll see if he can manage this one.
Okay.
As soon as they see that north side play, that orbital strike seems to be coming down.
Martin was on orb collection duty, gone all across the map to get this one online. Stunned through to give him that opportunity, and while that is Cloud completely isolated, orbital strike though, he's just going to die to it. He didn't want to peek back in, he knew that they'd be watching, and now the lockdown is going to make things really awkward. 30 seconds left, they can plant just at the back of that site. Well, in fact, it's going to be denied anyway. Sadak has just come up with 2 huge kills. This is starting to fall apart a little bit for the side of GX as the IGL looks to do it all. He has done it by himself.
Well, to say that's an unexpected conclusion is an understatement. 4 kills? He was walking around that site on his own. And a little bit of cover and fire from here, there, and everywhere, but Martin, I think he might have been hit by a stun as well. Here's Sadak, 1 up close. Flash up behind, big swing for more. He's in a death match.
It felt like
in the world.
He had the stun initially.
It was got
Okay, we don't even get to hear what he said. But he had the stun initially to set up Martin. Martin dies and he goes, I am the duelist now.
I got this. I got this. Oh, Purpo. Now this is an annoying thing to run into at all. Oh, okay, he got Aves. Thought it was Purpo. Yeah, it was Runner that took down Aves. Although I think that off shot was on him anyways. Runner for another. That's Sadak shut down.
Finally.
This is it. Not only shutting down Sadak, but for Runner, he's had a couple of rounds. Quiet, silent hero. This time it's more direct, and it gets the Rolling Thunder online and ready. KC do manage to set foot on that site. Might be the beginning of the end for them.
So much reliance here on Martin. He's trying to find a safe spot. Stun will go in.
Spike planted.
It's not anything to do with denying that plant. And now the Rolling Thunder. Yeah, it seems almost a little bit irrelevant when you don't know where these players currently are. Maybe trying to force them back off the site, but they are already off the site.
Yeah, the gate crash got them that quick reposition, but Elite has been caught. The speedy approach working out with Runner's triple on the board. It's Sagetsu who has to clutch it out again. The defuse underway, and too many players between him and the diffuser. It's 11 for the defensive side as GX claim the lead back. Very close to the finish line.
That's the thing. It almost feels harsh that one of these teams has to go home. We've had a back and forth throughout this series. The minds behind the scenes working wonders with the pauses. The minds in the game making on-the-fly adaptations, and then so many big individual plays with incredibly cool combos. Completely different ideas. The fact is, though, one of these teams goes marching on in the hunt for Masters, even just the hunt for points. And the other team, oh, they get nothing.
You got more time to work on stage 1, I suppose. Not
Very
much of an
long
upside. Yeah. There'll be a few meta shifts before then, perhaps.
That'll be a
This
map
is it.
change.
You look at how things have gone for GX, currently in the lead, and they have to feel a bit salty. The opening matchup against BBL, one they no doubt thought would be a slightly easier matchup than what they ended up facing. BBL go on to defeat Fnatic. So for GX, they kind of feel like they don't deserve to be here. Maybe they could have done better against some of the other teams. For KC, well, they've had some closer games. And that Vitality one ran the distance.
This one looking like it's going to do the same.
It is. It is. And for KC being the former champions of Kickoff, they took top spot. They don't want to go out in the bottom.
Alpha might be in trouble here. Rolling Thunder this time. He is not in the right place at the right time. So much utility pudding, completely stunned up on the site, just trying to hold on with the shorty, but they haven't been able to get towards him.
Smashing in with smoke. He's safe. Inside his teammates smoke. They don't know what's going on. They're going to step into this unaware that the shorty is waiting. And they certainly don't know he's got enough to back it up. Beautiful play from GX. Purple was under such heavy threat. And Tomaszy, he was quick with the orbital strike, quicker with the smoke. And that may just have gotten them the round. 12 on the board for GX. Purple with a big triple. And now KC, 2 in a row to bring us to overtime. A third map OT, something they're more than familiar with, and failing that. Last year's first, will be this year's first out.
That's the thing. You mentioned Tomaszy, the man who started in Tier 2 as a duelist, played some Sentinel for a bit, has now gone over to the smokes, and it seems like there is no role this young man can't play. 19 and 14 on the Brimmy. But as you said, that round was not about the kills, it was about the support that he laid down. 12 to 10. Sadak stunned, but there isn't going to be any pressure put off it. Just the control held, but it is a much more patient hold in this round from the side of KC, waiting to see if there is any level of aggression. Ultimates in this round may not even play a part. Martin pretty close, Purpo the closest for his squad, but none of them actually ready. And that's the thing, I feel like a lot of the time we've seen ults used to pad the gap and it hasn't worked. It's been the other team's adaptations that have taken them home.
I have the spike.
They've picked their poison. The A site, west side, the player.
East side of the map
is where they are going to play.
The pressure is most certainly on. Not so much for the defensive players. They have 2 chances, but KC have to be flawless. Pace change, 40 seconds left, and they're making the push. Blind, that TP hasn't worked out. Martin, big player for the side. Someone else has to step it up to keep KC's dreams alive, and it's a nightmare for this attacking side. Sagetsu and Elite left alone. West side falls, damage on Cloud, damage on Tomaszy, but the spike is in the open. They have 20 seconds left to get onto that site, and the gamble, the dice need to be rolled now. The drop down from Sagetsu, the star is there. 10 seconds left. Elite's gone, and with him, the hopes of this round have fallen. 13 to 10, 2 to 1. GX carry on in the lower bracket. KC, they started at the top, and now they're here. Tomaszy sending his former team out.
The man at the beginning of the day who said, you know, I don't know if there's much when it comes to playing against KC. No bad blood, no looking to try and take them down. That reaction says otherwise. He was dropped at the beginning of this year, or I guess the end of last year, picked back up by GX, and he is one of the main reasons, top of the board, as to why they are sent out of this competition. It is a rough one for the side of Carmine Corp, a team with high expectations, a team with a lot of experience, but there were definitely positives. They took a win home earlier in the tournament. They went toe-to-toe with the brand new super team, and they have proven themselves fighting tooth and nail. Kickoff is always brutal. There is always casualties, but I'm excited for this team going into stage 1.
Kickoff ends early for KC, and it's a tragic sight, but someone like GX showing us the improvements that they've made. This roster looking promising. Sure, Tomaszy, top of the scoreboard, a big factor in this. You have to look across the stage. Someone like Martin, big numbers put through, big plays. We like what we've seen from KC, but it wasn't enough this time.
It's always brutal. Still smiles. I think they know that although this is a first falter, there is still a long way to go in this year. But this is the team that have taken them down. A rough start in this tournament. But we see the response, we see the resilience, and I think that's the thing I've enjoyed most about watching GX so far, is the fact that at times they've gone down, at times, like, I think they lost 5 out of 6 pistols in this game. There's always been responses, reactions, adaptations, and they are looking like a force to be reckoned with. And honestly, they are now another hat thrown into the ring. I don't know who is going to come out on top at Kickoff. And with that victory, and with KC going out, I think GiantX is starting to make a name for themselves.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's going to be a long run for them to make it back up to the top of the teams. They're down in that lower bracket. It's a grueling run.
It's just a long run.
Yeah, with teams being very close to each other in terms of level of what's brought to this stage. But defeating a squad like KC, especially on that final map, something they hadn't shown before with Aang leading the charge, it's an impressive feat, and one that no doubt a player like Tomaszy is happy to have claimed. It seems we've got Tomaszy standing by down on the stage with Yinsu. Let's get his thoughts.
Thank you very much. That is right. I am now joined by Tomaszy from GX. Now, Tomaszy, there is something about this Kickoff tournament. You're always good individually here. We saw you last year as well. I got to ask, it's got to feel very, very good to beat your former team, right?
I mean, first of all, I feel really happy because I think we showed how we play in scrims for the first time. And I think we showed that we have a lot of potential and value in our team. And I will not lie, of course, I'm happy to beating KC because, I mean, they didn't want me for next season and, of course, means a lot for me. But I don't really care because when I was playing, I was not thinking about that. I just want to win with my team because I really love them. And yeah, let's see what will happen now.
Yeah, you deserve it, you know. You guys have worked really hard. You deserve it. Now, it does feel like when you first came into Tier 1, we thought maybe we see the duelist side of Tomaszy. Obviously, that didn't really happen that often on KC. And coming onto GX, you keep innovating. You know, we see the Astra. Maybe the first time you played it didn't look super comfortable, but now you look very, very comfortable on your new role. How would you compare having to do these things compared to what you did on KC?
I think for me, when I played in KC, I think I kind of learned because of Eng and Zeish, all the stuff. I learned how to play all roles in the game. And for me, when I started playing with Giants as Smoker, in the beginning, literally like first 2 days, it was kind of weird for me. But then it was like, I love this role. I want to play this role because I really feel comfortable. So yeah, I think I will keep to playing this role.
You got a particular Smoker agent that you like the most?
I think I'll say I really like Omen because I can show my aggressive part a lot. So I think I'll say Omen, yeah.
I don't want to traumatize you, but I want to ask you about Bind, because this could have been a 2-0, right? There was a world, this was a 2-0. So in that last round, before we went to overtime, you know, it felt like maybe you were fighting for a Cloud's ultimate in Bath. Was that the plan? Is that something that threw you off? And why did you think that you lost that map?
I mean, I think we lost that map because we couldn't close the game, of course. But the last round, I remember we wanted to kind of bait them to take TP and fight them because they did like 5 rounds ago that they took TP and fight them. And I think I was kind of too far away. I couldn't help my team. And they just died on showers, and then yeah, it was like 4v2. It was kind of unwinnable. But yeah, we're just trying to bait TP and fight them, but they fight only from showers. So yeah, it doesn't like it.
And of course, you know, sometimes when you're on this stage, sometimes it's very quick, it's a 2-0. Sometimes you have to be here for a long, long time. It felt like you did that on KC as well. You had a lot of experience of playing overtimes. Do you think maybe that, alongside, you know, players like Purple and Cloud, helps your team, that you can grind the games out? You know what to do when it goes to map 3.
I mean, I think, for example, me, Runner, Purpo and Cloud, I think we played a lot of overtimes already here in this stage. So I think it's fine. And when you come back to overtime, it's even better feeling. But I think, yeah, I think Cloud, it's a really good leader, and he can pass the experience, for example, to West Side and for everyone, and I'm really happy about that. So yeah, I think he helps a lot.
And very last question. I believe you played the winner of Apex versus Liquid next, and I've heard you say some pretty nice things about Floor in the past. You've never played against her before, so if you do end up facing Apex, what do you think about potentially playing against Floor?
My honest opinion about Florcent is I think she can be easily one of the highest ratings because I saw like the way she shoots in like highlights in ranks, and I played like some pracs against her, and I think she's really good individually. So I actually want to play against her. So let's see.
Oh, I love that answer. Thank you very much, Tomaszy. Congratulations. Enjoy it. We'll see you back here next week. But that is not all the Valorant we're going to see today. There is another elimination coming out right after this, and it is between Na'Vi and Fnatic. We'll see you in a bit.
Runner, my goat! Bro, I'm dancing around the side, bro. Bro, Runner, I swear, bro, if I could, I will literally slap your ass, bro, right now.
Red Bull gives you wings.